you doing, man?
Oh, doing just fine here. How are you guys?
We're fired up, man. We're yelling about Dan Gilbert. We're yelling about Isaiah. Like, these comments from Isaiah, let's start there because...
Who the hell does this guy think he is?
Yeah, who does he think? Like, Kevin Love needs to answer to him about where he was? That's ridiculous, Joe.
Welcome to... See, I think Isaiah fits right in.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
These people are all nuts, and they usually get crazy by now. Still crazy when we do All-Star break. But no, I mean, Isaiah was at the center of a lot that's been going wrong, and he didn't talk to us for a week, and so all of a sudden he had to take, almost a month's worth of criticism the other day on Saturday, and he took every question and answered them truthfully, and he said some things the organization wishes that he wouldn't, but he was also, it was revealing. I mean, I think everyone got a pretty good sense of what's been going on around here.
What do the players feel about Isaiah Thomas? It seems as though he's kind of like an outcast coming in, or an outsider coming in here and trying to, swing his deal around a little bit when he hasn't really earned it.
So, Isaiah fit in here great until he started to play.
Well, that's a problem.
But I think everyone had an inkling that his acclimation to playing here wouldn't go smoothly. I just don't think you understand what that means until you actually start to see it. Because here you have a guy who is hurt, and he's not where he used to be in terms of physicality, and he's trying to get there. But he's also trying to play the way he's always played. And he's trying to do all that on a team that has LeBron and a team that's trying to get to the finals. And I think the players understand who Isaiah is, and they understand he's a high-volume shooter, a high-volume scorer. And so they know why he was taking the shots he was taking, but the fact that they weren't going in and the impact that those were having on that those misses were having on everything else the Cavs were doing. And then secondarily, just sort of because he's not where he needs to be physically, they wonder, if he shouldn't be changing the way he plays a little bit. I think that causes frustration. And then on Isaiah's part, he's frustrated. He's not used to this. He knows that it was going to be a tough climb back, but you don't know how tough it's going to be till you try it. And so, he knows that, he knows how much he was hurting the team with some of this stuff, and so, he was looking for ways to lash out, and he found a bunch of them.
We're talking with Joe Vardon, Cleveland.com. Joe, are there, both Isaiah and Korver recently said, some of this stuff has been blown out of proportion. Do you think that's true? I mean, there, right? That's what I don't think so, because it seems like there are real problems with this team, right?
Yeah, of course. There are real problems. If you look at, how the mood everybody was in and what they said immediately after that meeting. We were all together the next day in San Antonio, and Ty, for instance, didn't back away from it all, and he's like, well, we'll see if this was a good thing or not. Kevin obviously, was very pointed about what had happened, and not sure if this was going to be a good thing for the Cavs. LeBron just straight up didn't want to talk about it, and the feelings lingered for days. So, no, there was nothing blown out of proportion there. It was very real and very personal, and everybody was touched by it. It's just kind of a reflex, I think that you say those things after the fact, that it's blown out of proportion. I mean, I think if anything with Korver, he smiles because he knows he has been surprised his whole year here just how up and down things get.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's really something to see.
Hey, Joe, let's talk about Kobe Altman here for a minute, and that relationship between Dan and the fact that, Griff is gone. It seemed like Griff sort of held some things together. Do the players have confidence in Kobe Altman? It doesn't seem like they do right now to make this team better, especially the way that the Kyrie deal went down.
So Kobe, is in a tough spot.
No doubt.
A tough spot. And listen, not you, not me, not Adam, none of us would turn down $1.5 million a year to be the GM of this team that's gone to 3 straight finals. So, we would all put ourselves in the same spot if we could. But the fact remains that he's got this title. He doesn't have a ton of experience, and it would seem more so than normal that his role is somewhat ceremonious, and that Dan, is heavily involved. Now, there are some people in the organization who will say that Dan is always involved, but he's never more involved than an owner should be, or any owner typically is. And we know that that's not entirely true. We also, we should say that Dan was heavily involved when Griff was here, and that Griff did not have the autonomy and power that he wanted in Cleveland. And that was one of the things that led to the breakup, certainly. But what Griff was able to do is he was able to, one, show control and maintain control over the things that he could control. The power that he did have, he had a very firm grasp of it, and he was able to use it. He also did a good job of communicating with various members of the media, publicly and privately, that I think gave a sense that at some level Griff, again, had control and a major role in what different kinds of things were going on. Kobe doesn't do that, and I think in large part it's because he doesn't feel that is his role. So he doesn't have the same like outreach and outlets that Griff had. And then the second thing is that you do wonder, so then you wonder if he has the same level of control over the things he can control. But Dan Gilbert has always been very active and continues to be, and that hasn't changed. It's just more so now. The guy he has in the GM seat just is young. We're all young once, but he's young now, and he hasn't had a lot of front office experience, so it may seem like he's more involved than even ever before.
Joe, in terms of making deals and getting something done here, obviously we saw the big Blake Griffin trade yesterday. We've got, 10 days to go before the deadline. Do you think the Cavs will make a significant move? Is there a move they can make that can really make the difference? Because I know they've played better the last 2 games, but they look old and slow right now.
Well, there's a lot there, Adam. There's a lot there for me to react to.
Yeah.
I think they will do something. Their resources are somewhat limited, and I get the sense that they ultimately won't move that pick, although they would if the right situation presented itself. I know a lot of people are talking about this, the latest piece that came out with, and it's about like the control Dan has on the team.
Yeah.
The thing that was new in there that really we didn't know was that Dan is texting with Isaiah.
Right. Okay.
So that's important because we didn't think that Isaiah was untouchable in terms of a trade. We thought there was a possibility there that if the Cavs saw what some others see, that maybe he's not going to be the best fit in the here and now, that you move off him and go in a different direction. Well, that would not appear to be on the table if the owner is having this kind of relationship with Isaiah. So to me, that would have been the most impactful move they could make. There are others who believe that still getting DeAndre Jordan here would be a major impact. I don't know. I don't think rim protection is how you beat the Warriors. And I think that there's probably talent here right now to get to the finals. It'd be more of a case of Ty figuring out how to use the different guys. But you also got to watch, if Boston, you got to watch Boston. and watch the Pelicans. If somehow, the Pelicans give up and decide to go in a different direction, Boston has the assets to take a look at Anthony Davis. And I don't want to start any rumors or worrying because the Pelicans have said we are not doing this. This is just, me speculating in the light of Boogie going down. That's the one you worry about because Boston probably is one player away from ending this thing.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Joe, great stuff, man. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Joe Vardon, Cleveland.com.
This is New York firefighter Rafael Porras.